The following announcement is paid for by the Wrestling with Nerds.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Hey there, the name's Nukem, Duke Nukem, and you're watching the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. For some unknown reason, enjoy.
This honky tonk man, greatest intercontinental champion of all time, and you're watching Wrestling with Nerds podcast. Yes, that's my favorite. Shake, rattle, and roll.
What's going on, wrestling fans, and welcome to the Wrestling with Nerds podcast. It's been a little while since you've seen us. We haven't had an actual Rumble review show yet. We'll give you a little bit of that at some point tonight. But Ryan, huge breaking news coming out of the Performance Center, NXT on CW. What is it?
Ricky Starks is now in NXT. Most people know over the weekend, I guess some do, some don't, but AEW finally did the right thing and took down or got rid of the contracts for Ricky Starks, Miro, and Aleister Black was already released, but Miro was the other big one. That were released over the weekend. Big news, big deal. Ricky Starks just won the Rev, I believe it's Rev Defy World Championship over the weekend. So it'll be kind of curious to see what NXT does with him having that title as well. It's big news. He's one of Cody's best friends. Him being in NXT kind of gets him that start that he needs before maybe making the jump to the main roster. If maybe we get a Statland or a Homelander Cody, that could probably be where he fits in.
And just throwing it out there, Ryan, you have Shawn Spears, Ethan Page, and now Ricky Starks. That I don't know if I'm ready to say it, but I know you've been kind of saying these are Cody's guys. That now Cody is there. They see how well Cody's doing. That they're okay. Let's go see how that is. And look at Ethan Page, was NXT Championship almost immediately. Ricky Starks debuting randomly tonight. I'm excited to see if Aleister Black, Malachi Black, or Miro or Rusev, if they're going to come back or they're going to take their stuff to the indies.
I feel like Aleister Black will be back pretty quick. I believe they're gonna put him with his wife. Miro is interesting because I didn't know it, but he had left the country when him and Lana split. But Miro was very good with his money and his investments. I know at one point, if he didn't still, he has a minority ownership in the LA Clippers, and I believe he has a minority ownership in the Nashville Predators in the NHL because they were living in Nashville.
Oh wow.
So he's been smart with his money. He's not in the country from what I've heard. But he does his Twitch stream that's pretty impressive. So Miro could be one that takes a nice break or never is to be seen from again. But I feel like the other two will definitely be WWE bound.
I mean, what they always say.
One of them's already WWE bound. The other one will be WWE bound.
Aleister was always a Triple H guy.
I believe so. Yes, he was. he was in that group of the black and gold brand of NXT that Triple H put a lot of emphasis on. And then once he got to the main roster, Vince tried to make him into like a non-dead Undertaker, and it just didn't work.
No. But yeah, if you guys have just joined us, breaking news out of NXT: Ricky Starks makes his debut immediately following his release from the weekend. But speaking of AEW releases, that comes with some WWE and NXT releases as well. The Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor, along with Paul Ellering, Cedric Alexander, Sonya Deville, Blair Davenport, Isla Dawn, Giovanni Vinci, and the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. I think Duke Hudson also, I think, got released as well. Um,
Uh, yeah, Duke Hudson was one that was released a little bit before this announcement. It seems like WWE now likes to do this right in the middle of a show where they
yeah,
break that they've released all these people. AOP, eh. I know I was following a buddy's podcast earlier, Dougie. He had made mention that Paul Ellering sent out a tweet that the AOP could beat any tag team in any company in any part of the world. Eh, I find that hard to believe. I mean, I know they're mixed martial artists, so they probably could legitly beat every team up, but work wise, they're not that great. They're as much as he thinks they're LOD 2.0, they're not. I actually liked this release because I'm a big Karrion Cross fan.
and
I
puts
think
him
he
on
has
his own with Scarlett.
just him and Scarlett. That's all they've ever needed for them is him and Scarlett. So I kind of hoping with the push on Raw that maybe he gets into that IC title picture. That could be fun. I don't think he needs to be the guy that stirs the pot and splits people up left and right anymore. Just let him become carrying that he was in NXT. Um, Sonya Deville's another one. This was from what I've read or from what I was told too earlier. This was her choice. She chose not to re-sign her contract from a post she made, which is smart. I mean, she's not being used.
She's been
Sonya
used as
is
a manager more than anything. I think the one like action she saw was the Rumble, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more along the lines of Sonya's been in the WWE since her beginning. She started on that episode of Tough or that season of Tough Enough is where she got her start. She's always been WWE. It is good to eventually go somewhere else and learn a new hold or get a new paint of coat, as they say. Um, it makes sense. Go somewhere else and learn other parts of this trade. And if you pick up a lot of momentum, Matt Cardona has showed you don't need to go to the big shows, but maybe the big shows will want you back.
Make yourself more valuable. Cody.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like Sonya Deville. I like her character. The character got kind of lost after she came back from her
Mm-hmm.
knee surgery, where it wasn't really pinpointed on what the point of her character was. But I like the character with her and Mandy. And then you never know. Maybe if all that fails and everything else, maybe she goes make OnlyFans with her best friend. Who knows? You're the one that went with the dirty OnlyFans.
All right. Well, there's Giovanni Vinci who had what one match lost and never seen again.
Two
Two
matches, and
matches.
he got absolutely buried.
Wasn't it by Cedric Alexander?
I believe so.
And then he
Or
got
Paul.
released too.
Yeah.
The Good
I
Brothers are also gone.
I think that was just of the times. This second run for them has been nagged with injuries. I believe they were off because Carl Anderson had shoulder surgery.
I
Um, and I think it was just kind of time for them to not be on the WWE roster. I know they were making money. They had worked it into their deal that they were making money if they were staying home. So kind of trims the fat off the books when they're paying guys that are staying home. Luke Gallows, he's a local guy to me. Actually got his start right here in Hagerstown. Uh, nice guy, but he's getting older. Carl Anders is getting older. I could see them settling for a schedule where they don't have to travel as much.
TNA.
So I could definitely see them back in TNA where their tag team division is kind of oblique and could use a little jump start.
And the
Same way
thing
with
is, just because they got released with WWE, they go to TNA with a lighter schedule doesn't mean they're off of WWE television.
yeah, I think though for the most part, some of those guys maybe probably work it into their TNA deals that they don't show up on NXT television. I think it would make sense for them just to strictly be TNA after getting released.
I mean,
Um,
look at Fandango or crud, what's his JDC?
yeah, it's his name is Jay. It's I forget what his initials are now. It's Johnny Curtis is his real name, but I can't remember what the middle initial is. But yeah, um, guys like that, that's fine. I don't see Gallows and Anderson making the voyage to Florida to do the TNA or NXT deals happen. Otherwise, WWE would have just kept them in NXT. I think. Isla Dawn is the one that stands out to me as kind of like this
That
doesn't
was
make
weird.
sense.
And she
But
made a
then
post
again,
later that day that says "See you in 90 days."
yeah, I would imagine she's gonna show back up in one of the UK promotions, independent promotions in the UK. It's kind of weird though that they release one half of a tag team and not the other half. Kaylee Ray or Alba Fire, I'm kind of shocked didn't get released together with her. Maybe they have plans for Alba Fire with the brand extension to the UK. Considering I think other than besides losing to Mandy Rose, I think she was the last UK champion. I think without looking that up quickly. Um, so that could be the reason why. Um,
I
but yeah,
enjoyed their tag team.
I I enjoyed the outfits of the tag team for the most part. I think everybody did. But people, I love when the IWC complain about people getting released and losing their jobs, but like 4 months beforehand, you're complaining because they're not on TV. They're not on TV because they don't have a story for them or they don't have things for them to do because this roster is so jam packed with people. So, would you rather them sit in catering and keep getting paid, or get released where they can go finally work and be Dolph Ziggler, and be Nick Nemeth, or be Matt Cardona, or any of that kind of thing? Let them go work the indies. It's now proven that you can make money on the indies. So WWE releases them and says, go learn a new hold. If you pick up popularity and you get big again, we'll have discussions. We'll bring you back in. I don't understand why people get so butthurt about the idea that, oh, this guy got released. Man, that sucks. Well, yeah, it does suck, but he now has an opportunity to go do what he wants to do, and that's wrestle. I don't want to. Who wants to be a baseball player, but your job all day is just to sit in the locker room? You don't get to play the game. You don't get to go out in front of anybody and play batting practice or any of that stuff. Your job's just going to be to sit in the locker room. Does it really pay? Does it really make you feel like you're following your career? No. So these guys now get the chance to go wrestle, hone their craft, and get better at what they're doing. Work on a gimmick, work on character building, and you never know. They could be back. They're all plenty young enough, except for the Good Brothers, that they'll be back.
Yeah, they're all yeah. And speaking of the Good Brothers, we had a return, a surprise return at the Royal Rumble. What, you didn't like that?
No, uh, our third party has entered the chat from the on the YouTube chats. Uh, we've been really busy, guys. I will give you that. We have been ultra busy, all three of us. It just so happened that I have snow in the area and I can't do my job when there's snow on the ground. for the most part for safety reasons. So I got with AJ and I'm like, hey, can we record something tonight? Well, the third wheel of the podcast, he's an old man and bowls 16 times a week, and that's where he was. So he's a little late. Oh, your P's a little messed up there, Leroy. Other hand, flip him around.
It's been like that since I was born.
There you go. It's like Legends of the Hidden Temple. Put the silver monkey together.
Dude, I'm doing it in reverse. But what a surprise, and not just a surprise that he's back, but they got rid of his theme song and came back with the old one.
Yeah, because he's a face. He's a face that's gonna run the place again, maybe.
I'd be okay with it.
That old song was a very heelish music, had heelish
I
music
liked
to
it
it.
though,
Now it's
compared to everybody hating it. I enjoyed it. I liked it.
I may be the outlier in most of this, but I like I prefer AJ's TNA music over his WWE
Yes,
music.
just like Kurt Angle. I like metal, but I like Kurt Angle's TNA theme better.
Get Ready to Fly from for AJ Styles has been without a doubt one of my favorite theme songs of for a very, very long time. So but it's good to see him back. It really is.
Speaking of other returns, Charlotte Flair making her way back while she was said to be in the Rumble. We had no clue when, where she would show up. Jordan Grace finally signs to WWE. She's in the Women's Rumble.
And her Twitter page also says that she is a WWE superstar, not an NXT superstar.
I like
So
that. I like that a
interested to
lot.
see where they fit her in. It was brought to my attention earlier. I'm going to get into a little conversation through the podcast to podcast. My good friend Dougie has a podcast that he records on Tuesdays, and I was on in the chats with him. Uh, Unfortunately for the Jordan Grace fans, her OnlyFans has been discontinued as of this weekend. WWE has a policy where wrestlers can't have OnlyFans, so
I didn't know she
it'll
had
take.
one.
Oh yeah, she had an OnlyFans. It wasn't nudity to a point, but there was some weird photos in there. I know our friend Nate loves the birthday photo with the frosting and sprinkles everywhere. Um, but I mean, a moment of silence for Jordan Grace's OnlyFans is probably well deserved.
How about a moment of silence for TJ's browser history? The 21st
Wow,
entrant in the Women's Rumble.
I was gonna say TJ's browser history picked up some steam. I wonder how many times he spelled bliss and the computer just now does when he hits B. It's just like, oh, bliss? Is this what you want? Bliss? Bliss? Do you want bliss? More
That
bliss.
was
How
a
about
very
bliss?
pleasant surprise. We've been wondering when she was coming back. I once again I love that WWE screws with the dirt sheets. And she shows up, has a really good outing, and she's back. And now, after the SmackDown following, she's qualified for Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, and she looks good. And I would take bets that it was probably Candice LeRae that she was training with to get back to ring
Oh
shape.
yeah,
That's why that match was her and Candice LeRae, which makes tons of sense. She looked really good in the ring. I'm kind of curious. We did get a little bit of a white noise graphic kind of there towards the end of the match. I don't want her to be
no, neither do I.
I don't want her to be with the Wyatt Six.
Neither do I. I want
I
her to
want
be
her
herself.
I want her to kind of be against the Wyatt Six when it comes to it. I don't want
I don't
there's
want her to
no
do anything with them at all.
I I think you have to finish that uh, pun intended. You have to finish that story of Alexa with the Wyatts, and you can easily finish that. Um, I don't think she needs to be with the Wyatts
Do you think
because
it
it's
ends
kind
with
of
her and Nikki Cross?
it very well could. Um, it kind of, if she joins the Wyatt Six, it's kind of like the Monsters. They're all monsters, and then she's the off distant cousin. Um, it'll be interesting to see where they go with her character. I'm looking forward to it. I love Alexa Bliss, not as much as TJ. TJ loves her to death.
Well, speaking of that, we'll
Um,
be switching to the third person views. Just give us a little bit. The Fat Man has joined us.
Bliss cross applesauce.
But you guys are just gonna have to give us a couple seconds to reform everything.
But I mean, a moment of silence for Jordan Grace's OnlyFans
Hey,
is probably
hey.
well deserved.
Who's got that?
How about a moment of silence for TJ's brother?
I muted it, so Ryan, you kind of can't talk right now either. Who, me? Jesus Christ. Hey TJ, why don't you have it set up so when you join somewhere you don't have any background noise to blow everybody else's ear out?
The plug wasn't in the plug.
Yeah, that sounds like a you problem.
Well, no, it was a you problem because I couldn't hear it.
That's fine, I just muted you.
Yeah, I
But
know
yeah,
I'm a
I
couple
mean-
minutes late because the stream was yeah. And yes, I agree. God, please don't put her with the Wyatt Six.
Yeah, I agree. It just needs to be more of Alexa being. I prefer the Alexa Bliss of when she first became champ, like that arrogant, cocky Alexa Bliss is what I liked. Like I liked
Granted,
when she
unhinged, like going after the Queen Alexa was hilarious. But yeah, we don't like let's not fall back into the same thing. Like, let's reestablish her for the champion she was.
Well,
I mean,
I love how you bring up the Queen. Because we were talking about her, and
I was listening.
I'm happy. I am very happy Charlotte's back.
I'm glad they're both back. I mean, you want to talk about two staples of this women's revolution. I mean, second champion, SmackDown. Alexa Bliss took it off of Becky.
I kind of felt that Alexa was more ring ready than Charlotte was.
Well, I mean, Alexa wasn't injured; she was pregnant. So in theory, it wasn't like she was rehabbing an injury. She was
but ring rust
getting
is
back
still
into.
a thing.
No. But I mean, like, as far as getting back, being able to get in the ring, it wasn't like she was like, I can be in the ring, but I got to protect a body part. I just got to get back in, shape. Which, I mean, it's going to be easier to come back into the pregnancy than it is from a torn ligament.
not just torn ligament, destroyed knee.
That's what I mean. Like all of them, they all were like.
It was fun to see both of them back. Charlotte's gonna be herself, and that's who Charlotte Flair is, like it or not. And I really don't care if you like it.
Predictions on who she chooses?
She's gonna choose Tiffy.
Think so?
I think so.
I definitely think they're gonna line up her and Tiffy. It's gonna be a way to make Tiffany even put her to that next level. Just because she has the WWE title doesn't mean she's at that level yet.
Do you think that means Tiffy goes over?
No, because if you remember correctly, when Rhea and Charlotte fought the first time, Charlotte won, but it elevated Rhea to that level that they can come back to it later on. I don't want to. I think that match could go either way. I think Charlotte wins. It's going to be the typical, oh, it's Charlotte Flair. She has to win, blah, 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 blah. And then if Charlotte does the deed and does the job and Tiffany wins, it's, oh, well, she'll get the belt further down the line because all we do is think negatively of Charlotte Flair because without a doubt, she's the best female wrestler on any roster at this moment. I don't care who
I
you
feel like
are,
we've had this
what your
conversation
opinion
recently.
is. She is.
Can I drop the bomb on you right now? Who gets 17 first, Charlotte or John?
I hope Cena never gets it.
Cena will get 17, but Charlotte may be the one that gets 18.
I don't.
Who gets it first?
As much of a John Cena
We'll
fan
get to
I am.
we'll get to that part later.
Okay.
We'll
I
get to
mean,
the whole Cena thing later.
You've just predicted her 15th reign.
Just so you're aware, TJ, I will send this to you. This was our list we were going off of tonight.
We did go a little backwards because we had breaking news.
If you didn't see NXT, the breaking news, Ricky Starks has joined NXT.
I saw your. I think one of you posted it on the headline for one of the streams.
I did.
I was paying attention from the porcelain throne.
AJ had plenty of time to do that while I was doing fantasy points.
I was.
Have you updated the world to that yet?
No, but I have them all wrapped up. So, AEW's releases we went over. Like I said, I think it was.
Who did AEW release?
Well, they released Ricky Starks over the weekend, and then he joined NXT on Tuesday.
What about Ray Phoenix?
They also released Miro. They did not release Ray Phoenix.
So they're still holding.
And as hot as Penta is, they're not going to release Ray Phoenix any quicker.
Remember when they, said we won't just leave people in catering? Yeah.
Well,
low hanging fruit.
Yeah, a lot of low hanging fruit on that one. I'll go ahead and quickly do this so we're well aware. I'll post this in the chats too. So I finally called up the Pick'ems scores. I was kind of behind. I didn't catch up Saturday night's main event to the Royal Rumble. Before Saturday night's main event, we'll run down the list. It was Fry with 65, AJ with 58, Darren with 55, Sean with 53, Wes with 49, TJ at 47, Ed at 47, Justin at 45, Andy at 45, Ron at 41, Rob at 35, Lou at 33, and Mike at 33. After Saturday night's main event, really nothing changed except for the top four remain the same. I have 69, AJ has 61, Darren has 59, and Sean has 56. The big change there is Ed jumps Wes and TJ and moves into that fifth spot with 51. TJ, you jump to 50. Wes jumps to 49. Justin's 49. Andy's 45. Ron's 45. Rob is 38. And Lou and Mike round out the bottom at 37. So that was that. Now for the Royal Rumble. Just to describe it to people, to let people know how we do this. We do our normal pick 'em. So you pick the men's Rumble winner, the women's Royal Rumble winner, and the two matches, which was Cody and KO and Motor City Machine Guns and DIY.
Yep.
You pick those four. As a bonus, we do a random spin type deal. The top 15 of the Royal Rumble. If your guy from the bottom 15 wins the Rumble, you get 5 bonus points. If the top upper half of the 15, so 16 through 30, they win the Royal Rumble, you get 3 points. We have 13 people playing. So what we do in memory of our good friend Rocky, there's 2 spots on each side that are Rocky spots. They're kind of like the vacant or redacted or whatever spots you want to call it, but we call them the Rocky spots.
Those spots haven't killed anybody.
He might have had 4 spots because, we forgot somebody's spots.
We did forget some people because people were late getting to us to let us know that they were still playing.
They didn't have my spot. They didn't have your spot. They didn't have your dog's spot.
And whatever spot. But anyhow, so the women's Royal Rumble winner was Rob at pick number 27. Charlotte won from 27. So he gets a 3-point bonus. Now for the men's Royal Rumble. The guy that drew number 20 in the real Royal Rumble, one that being Jey Uso, the guy that won on our pick'em for having the 20th spot is yours truly, the Guru. So I get a 3-point bonus. So with that said, for scores, nobody scored a perfect.
Can I petition
Not
for next year that the first one out and the quickest elimination get a point?
No.
just because you get absolutely slaughtered in the Royal Rumble and you want to
For
wait for a
context,
point.
for those at home, BFAB, yeah, hi. Ludwig Kaiser, yeah, hi.
So, with that said, points were done for the Rumble. The scores now are I now jumped out to a 10-point lead. I have 74 points. AJ keeps his lead on Darren and has 64 points. Darren has 62 points. Sean has 59 points. And there's a nice little three-way battle here for fifth because now, TJ, you are sitting in fifth with 53 points. Ed has 52. Justin has 51. Wes has 50. Andy and Ron have 47. Rob, with his 3-point bonus, gets a bigger gap on them bottom two guys. He now has 43 points. Lou has 40 points. And Mike has 38 points.
So the battle's for fifth.
So we have 2 pay-per-views left, but it's 3 nights. So we have Elimination Chamber coming up. I don't know if there's a Saturday night's main event in between. I doubt it, but I
They
could
would have
be
talked
wrong
about it
because
already.
I don't know about that because they didn't really talk about the second one until it was literally the week before it. But they have a month and a half to fill the gap between Elimination Chamber and Mania, so you never know.
They did announce, I don't know if you guys saw, a championship match, Io Sky and Rhea.
That's
For
for
the
next month.
night,
That's
for the
the
night
Monday
after,
after
yeah.
Elimination Chamber. That's just to get people to watch NXT or watch people watch Netflix. Um, the way this works for the last 2 Elimination Chamber, same as always. Pick them winner of the matches. So, WrestleMania, if you pick night 1 and you're perfect, you get perfect for night 1. If you go into night 2 and you're not perfect, you don't get perfect. So if you go in and you get night 1 and night 2 perfect, then it's double score for that. That's basically the tiebreaker among tiebreakers, that there is no tiebreaker. But if you can guess both nights at WrestleMania perfect, easily Mike could be sitting at 38 points right now. It's dead last in our thing. If he gets both nights perfect and nobody else does, he has a very good chance of winning.
I feel like if you double perfect both nights and can throw the towel from behind your back and catch it, you should totally just win automatically.
Well, you figure it's probably going to be at least a 10 card, 10 to 12, maybe 14 card matches between both nights.
Totally.
Both main events are worth 2 points.
You think it's 7 and 7 each night?
It could be. I forget how many it was for our Rumble or our Mania, to be
five.
honest.
I think 5.
No, it was more than 5. It had to be like 6 for us.
I thought it was 5 and 5.
TJ, what took so long were the entrances for the main event. Those were 45 minutes each.
Yeah, each.
Well, no, because you had Jay and
The main
Jimmy.
events wasn't a new match.
Jay and Jimmy, the Bloodline potential rules.
He's looking
night
at
1. The women's match night 1.
I can see the Wikipedia in his eyes.
I'm trying to do this off of memory since we were there. You had
It was 7 matches each night.
Really?
That's what I said.
Yeah, night 1 was Rhea Becky, the tag ladder match. Ray and Andrade versus Santos and Dirty Dom. Jimmy and Jay. The 6-man women's tag match.
One because the Luchadors, aka Eagles, came out.
Yeah, Rocky versus the Russian for the IC title, and then the tag match. And then night 2 was Drew and Rollins, Damian. Of course, I guess technically 6 matches for night 1. Night 2, Damian versus Drew makes it 7. The Pride versus the Final Testament, LA Knight, AJ Styles. Logan Paul against KO and RKO, Bailey and Io, and Cody and Roman.
That was a match.
What?
The tag match. LA and
What?
KO.
No, it was LA Knight versus AJ Styles, and then Logan Paul versus KO and RKO.
That I remember.
Remember
That was a good
the U.S.
match.
title match?
I know
So,
one
yeah.
of them. I went and got pizza.
We know.
I think we can name the matches you didn't get up to go get food.
I'm pretty sure the only one I went up to get food was the trio of Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and Asuka. Is that who was before Kairi
Arthur and
Sane?
Asuka.
And the
But
three they
anyhow,
fought.
so that's the pick'em scores for now. I'll post that in the chat for the other ones.
Just saying
And
there's a
we'll get to them.
chance.
Yeah, saying there's a chance.
Stop picking with your heart and start picking with your head.
I've tried even doing that.
Speaking of picking with your heart instead of your head, the next topic on our conversation, John Cena.
Hope he loses every match.
I don't hope that. I just hope he doesn't win Elimination Chamber.
I hope he has great matches and puts the right people over.
If done right, I am okay with him breaking the record. I do not feel like it should be at Mania, though.
I don't.
And
think
I know
he needs
Ryan.
to.
I know Ryan. You're very strong in your opinion of this, but I hope it's not at Mania.
I don't think he needs to.
I know he's just waiting. He's seething. He's tempting with bated breath for us to stop talking. But I would be okay with a SummerSlam Survivor Series reign.
But here's the thing with everything going on, he guarantees a Rumble. He guarantees an Elimination Chamber.
That's why I don't want Mania.
Well, hold on. If he loses both, he's done the rest of the year. He shouldn't be fighting for nothing.
Got a briefcase. Got a briefcase that dangles from the sky.
What qualifies him to even be in that match?
Because he's John's. What qualified him to be in the Royal Rumble or the Elimination Chamber?
Well, the Royal Rumble is different.
CM Punk mentioned it this week. 3 people qualified for the Elimination Chamber, and one was just like, yo, I'm in the match.
The Royal Rumble, everybody says they're in the Rumble. I don't think he should have just been like, I'm in the chamber.
AJ, remember, I mean, this is kind of like if Ric Flair says he's going to do this, he's going to do this. You're not going to tell Ric Flair no.
Well, he's not Ric Flair.
He's not?
No, Ric Flair has 26 championships.
I mean, how many championships do we want to count for these guys? If you
Jerry
start
Lawler
adding,
has 47.
Having Voltage Wrestling, Ring of Honor.
It doesn't. You can't count regional heavyweight titles as world titles. That's where things get a little misconstrued.
I mean, how many championships does Andre the Giant have because he went to this house show that night and won their belt, but gave it back to him because he wasn't on the house show again until another year?
I mean, the part with Flair with the world titles that get counted for him is like the Mid-Atlantic world title. That's a regional championship. That's not a world championship. The NWA World Heavyweight title is, and with that, I think he has like 22 title reigns. But actually, with those title reigns, I don't think you can count those because a lot of the time those title chains were done because he would go overseas to Japan or even some of the other countries over there in the Middle East and defend the NWA World title. And the booker that brought him in knowing that he wasn't going to drop the NWA title. And then once he got there, it was like, you're dropping the NWA title here or you're not leaving the country type deal. And that happened a lot in Japan. It happened a lot in, I think it was somewhere in the Middle East. It may have been India. That's why a lot of times after the fact, he started going to those shows, and Harley Race would go with him and be on the cards for those shows just to make sure that that stuff didn't happen again. Because it would come out that he dropped the title to somebody in Japan, but then the NWA recognized him again as the world champion. There's a lot of the things that happened with Ric Flair's multiple title reigns, so to speak.
By the way, Ryan, did you hear my little shout out for Voltage Wrestling? Yeah, I threw that in there. It's off the cuff.
Yeah. So I mean, here's my plan. Here's my storyline, and I'm laying this out for what it could be worth. And I think if it's paid off the way I think it should be paid off, one, Cena makes some people on the way out. God, you're fat. Did you have the refrigerator right behind you?
I got a mini fridge, dog. I upgraded.
The fridge is as big as you.
It's only this
He's
tall.
just bigger.
I think Cena will win Elimination Chamber. We now know that it's going to be against Cody. I think Cena goes to WrestleMania, and I think Cena beats Cody. Becomes WWE champion. I think, and this is just my storyline building, we finally get Homelander Cody to a point. He's pissed off that he lost to John Cena. That Cena is the old timer that came in here and found a way to beat him. But if you kind of pay attention to the Cody Rhodes' storyline right now, Cody Rhodes wins matches, but he keeps getting hurt, and he keeps getting hurt, and he keeps getting hurt. And I think by the time he gets to Mania and faces Cena, he's not going to be 100%, and he's going to give everything he can, and he's going to fall short. And that's what's going to piss him off. We're going to get pissed off Cody. Cena will have his matches with, I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't have a championship match with Logan Paul. I would not be shocked if he doesn't have another match with Roman. I would not be shocked if he has another match with Drew. I feel like those matches will take place. But I think Cena wins. Meanwhile, on the other side of the factor, Cody Rhodes wins Money in the Bank and has the briefcase and keeps the briefcase. I think they go to December, which is now being said that this is going to be a December PLE. It's going to be called Ruthless Aggression, and it's supposed to be John Cena's farewell. I think he faces Cody one last time, or he faces somebody else, like a Randy Orton.
Yeah, that's where I would hope he would end his career.
If he faces Randy Orton last, I think Randy will lose to Cena last. You think Cena's going to walk out as WWE champion and retire, and somebody's got a briefcase. I think Cody cashes in, ruins John Cena's farewell night, walks out with the WWE title, and we're off to the races with Homelander Cody.
Can I change that a little bit? If that's where you would go?
Sure.
You have Orton win it. And then you have the master with the title being chased by the student.
Can I foil you both a little and change Orton out for Punk? Because Punk got to walk out with the belt. So how fitting would it be if now Cena's in line to do it?
It has nothing to do with Punk. Punk.
But, I mean, I'm talking biggest foils for John. Is it Randy or is it Punk?
It's Punk. It's Randy. Randy is the biggest feud John Cena ever had.
Now, I will give you this. If along the way to this heel turn, Cody takes out KO, injures him and shelves him for a bit, even if it's via package pile driver.
They've already made the right hand turn from Cody and KO. It's already
Well, I know Solo
forgotten about.
I know
Solo is now
Solo.
taking Cody out, and KO is concentrating on Sammy because that's their WrestleMania.
Well, I think Sammy's dead. Air quote.
Well, I mean, granted, KO lands on his neck, but yet lands on his neck, but doesn't is back on Raw on Monday night. I mean, you could have easily sold the neck injury for Cody and KO and said that Cody broke KO's neck or something of that nature. Kind of have a Terry Funk, Dusty Rhodes feud going like they did back in the 70s and have Owens with a neck brace on claiming that Cody broke his neck while his neck's not broke, but he's still claiming it. And that could have built to something, but they didn't. They went right to Monday night. Kevin
And
Owens is
KO killed
perfectly fine, and
Sammy.
he takes out Sammy because he didn't help him. You could have stewed over that for a couple of weeks, and that would have made it mean more.
And they
Right
sold
now,
that hard. I don't know if you saw the after the Raw footage where like literally they're in the ring for 10 minutes with Sammy.
yeah, right now I could care less about KO and Sammy, to be honest with you, because they rushed it so much that I don't care. They're gonna have their 15,000th match in WWE where KO is the heel and Sammy's the face.
Kevin Steen versus El Generico.
Now, I guarantee you within 3 years, they're going to be a tag team again and be tag champs again. It just seems to be their rotation of what their pattern is. They feud, then they're a tag team. They feud, and then they're a tag team.
Well, I don't see it happening. I'd rather Punk pin Cena in Elimination Chamber, and we get, because I really enjoyed that CM Punk Cody Rhodes promo where I'm your friend. I'm not gonna stab you in the back. I'm gonna stab you in the front.
That's who I was hoping wins Elimination Chamber.
I would like that.
And I mean, how are you not giving that man fuel to his fire if Cena headlines a WrestleMania ahead of him again after he has been here fighting through injury for a year and a half? I mean, we all know he was in the story at Mania last year, but couldn't obviously have the match. And Cena's gonna show back up and instantaneously jump him again for a WrestleMania main event. Come on.
I think it's more because I've seen the John Cena story been told so many times that what we don't want is what they end up giving us when it comes to John Cena.
I want him to lose.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I think we all could agree
that's
too.
what I
It's
mean.
not going to be Roman and Cody. It's probably not going to be Seth and Cody.
Well, that's where we were going with later over here in a minute. We're gonna make a predictions what we think what the matches for WrestleMania are gonna be. So we already know of Jay and Gunther.
That's official as of Monday.
It's official. That's where it's at. So who do we think is gonna challenge? Who do we think is gonna challenge Cody for
Well,
the
we know
title
it.
at WrestleMania?
So basically, who do we think is winning Elimination Chamber?
I'm giving you each. You can make your match. Go ahead.
I'm taking Punk wins the Chamber.
AJ.
Punk wins the Chamber. Logan Paul KO Cena.
So you're setting up for Cena and Logan Paul at Mania.
Yeah.
I don't hate that.
I'm going with Cena versus Cody. Spoiler bar. And we don't need to pick who wins. We're just going with the matches. So out of the Elimination Chamber, what other matches do you see being built for WrestleMania? So who's challenging for the women's world title? So Rhea's title.
Who's like? Screw it, Alexa.
That would definitely be something that hasn't been done.
She's been in 2 of them.
She's
and
won
at
one,
least,
didn't she?
She won the one she was the champion entering.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she won the other. I mean, we don't. It's a little hard on this one because we don't fully know who the other two competitors are yet. I believe there's still 2 spots
I mean, we don't
open.
know the full men's. We're still
I
waiting on Seth and
mean,
Finn.
Oh, you
pretty
also
sure
have
we all can
Damien.
kind of pencil in Seth into that.
You also have Damien, Jacob, and Braun on SmackDown.
So, where the hell does Roman fit in? Is Roman not? Or
Roman's taking another
Roman won't
sabbatical.
Roman won't be back until after Elimination Chamber.
right, but I mean, he has to figure into Mania. I mean,
He's got
Ryan,
a month and a half.
I like this is where a Saturday night main event could come in. I do like the idea, and I think we all saw it, that they are building to finally have the big Seth and Roman showdown at Mania. I think somehow that happens. Whether Roman somehow interferes with the Elimination Chamber with Seth, I think that's where they're going.
I mean, maybe Roman's underneath the ring at Elimination Chamber.
I mean, we've seen people get involved. I mean, Logan Paul had a hand in it
And then you end
not
up
that long ago.
And then you end up he costs Seth and CM Punk in the chamber.
I don't see CM Punk being involved. If you're gonna finally have your,
he's already involved.
but I'm saying if you're gonna have your Captain America Iron Man throwdown, finally, Seth and Roman, there's not gonna be a third wheel. You're not having Bucky involved. I mean, this is storyline from 2016.
See, this is where I disagree to a point. I have written down Roman versus Seth versus Punk at WrestleMania. The reason being is that the hatred for Rollins that Punk has to a point, and you forget in his back pocket he has a favor to ask. Nobody said that favor had to be a world title match, especially since Roman doesn't have a world title to challenge for. The hatred for Seth could be so real for Punk that he wants Rollins at WrestleMania, knowing in their minds that Roman versus Rollins is a WrestleMania main event style match, and you put Punk in the mix, and you have them three face each other. I would be hard pressed to find a bigger match on whatever night that's on, which I would imagine would be night 1.
How many times have we seen CM Punk and Drew?
Well, they're not even on the same show now.
No, but Punk made mention of that he ran to the other brand because he beat him so bad. And I'm hoping they don't go the route of that's how they play those two together. Because I feel like Drew's going to have a match on that card.
This is going to be Drew's WrestleMania match. You ready for this? And I'm putting this down for me as well. Drew's WrestleMania match, LA Knight.
Okay. I like that.
Versus Damian Priest.
Belt? No belt? Just to beat the hell out of each other?
I mean,
put on the line?
You could easily see LA Knight winning the U.S. title from Shinsuke between here and now.
I did not like.
You could easily get Shinsuke versus LA Knight at Elimination Chamber because of him not being in the match.
Yeah.
Put the U.S. title back on LA Knight and go into WrestleMania with those three. I'd pay to watch it. Because it's even funnier. It's even funnier when Drew isn't involved in the pin, and then hates it.
So who goes for Braun? Who's Braun Breaker's foil?
Penta.
That's okay. That's Penta and Braun for Mania.
It's either going to be Penta and Braun, or it's going to be Braun and AJ. It's going to be one of those two. But you could also see Penta doing something with Ray.
Do we
for that WrestleMania moment?
Do we know Jade Cargill's status?
No.
I mean, should we just assume she's out past Mania right now?
She's supposed to be back before WrestleMania, is the last reports I saw.
Because I know Bianca's in the Elimination Chamber, which I find, Laya Valkyria didn't win. I half expected her to be in just because, that's what they've been pushing the hell out of her. But
They haven't pushed these mid card women's titles enough, in my
no,
opinion. Like they keep teasing Lara versus Ivy, but they haven't pulled the trigger on it. And same way with
I
Chelsea and
think that might be
hers.
an elimination chamber match.
They need to pull the triggers and start building some of these feuds for this mid card titles, or they're gonna fall off like the women's tag titles have.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of where I was going with that. I mean, I don't know what they're doing with these women tag titles. I mean, honestly, at this point, who is
The
even
answer for the women's tag titles is gonna be Liv and Raquel. They're already the number one contenders for the tag titles. I would imagine and have a strong feeling that that match could possibly be see the return of Jade Cargill to cause Liv and Raquel to win. But I would imagine that's where they're going to put the tag titles is on Liv and Raquel. Um,
there are? Yeah,
it's
they
just
did.
it's
They did
it's
mention the other
interesting.
night they were
We're
two-time.
we're on the road to WrestleMania, and and this is what I love about the Triple H era, the Paul Levesque era, is it's not so cut in stone. Some of these
All right.
matches are blatantly in front of you that this is what they're going to be.
I got something to say on that one. So we have people that we know that if it's too cut and dry, they bitch. You know it's gonna happen. You know who's gonna win. You could paste it a while ago. Hate it. Now we're hearing that they hate it because they can't figure out what the hell's going on.
Well,
Well, that's just one of those that you're gonna complain if your ice cream's too cold. I mean, what do you want?
yeah, I
Well,
was gonna say the one you're
it's
talking
like-
about and you're thinking about the moment he opens his mouth is the moment I just want to mute him because he doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. It's just fun. It's fun because we don't know and we're allowed. This is what we're allowed to do, and this isn't one of those. Let's just wait and see what they do. This is what makes it fun. Is we can fantasy book Royal Rumble to WrestleMania, and that's what makes it fun for guys like me that love building the stories in my head of what works. Yes, AJ, I was well aware of who you were talking about.
Oh, okay.
I think that was
Although,
where Ryan was going with that.
although the same can be said for both of them, to be honest with you.
Um, do
It's
we
just
think
fun.
Braun and Jacob?
No, I think you're gonna get Jacob versus Solo.
Solo just returned and took out, I believe it was Cody at the end of SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't think they pulled Cody back into it somehow.
They're gonna have Solo versus Cody at Elimination Chamber. That's gonna be that's the story with Cody that they keep doing. That's why I'm so convinced that Cena's gonna win and go to face him at WrestleMania because he constantly keeps putting himself in big matches and keeps taking the brunt of the beating. And he's breaking down as WWE champion. And John Cena is going to capitalize on it and take the WWE title from him. No matter what, I know people keep saying Cena's not going to get 17. TKO and the WWE want John Cena to have 17. They do not want Ric Flair to be the guy that has the most recorded title reigns in wrestling history. They want their guy. They want their poster child of WWE wrestling, which is John Cena. He is going to get 17. And it's going to be the WWE Championship. It's not going to be the world title somewhere later on down the line. It is going to be the WWE Championship. They're going to want that photo of him hoisting the WWE Championship in the air.
So with
Big
this being his last year, how many faces of Cena do you think we're getting?
We could get every phase of Cena. I mean, we really honestly could.
Why don't we see bad Cena for the first time to
NWO Cena?
Well, first time in a long time. Let's not forget John Cena was a heel when he started.
Yeah, but he wasn't doing all that Make-A-Wish stuff when he first started.
I don't want to time out. I don't want to hear this crap about he can't be a face, can't be a heel, and do Make-A-Wish. Hulk Hogan was Hollywood Hulk Hogan in the NWO,
that's
still doing Make-A-Wish. That doesn't hold any weight to me whatsoever.
that's
He can
not
be
why,
a heel.
That's not
and
why they didn't turn him.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
you had
why.
Triple
That's
H
one
with
of the
you had
reasons.
heel
But
Triple H in the ring with Connor.
that it means absolutely nothing to me. Him doing Make a Wish, you can be face, heel, whatever.
Yeah, but you just
Hulk
said
Hogan that was one of the reasons. Yeah, but that was also a different regimen. Who was in charge then?
we don't talk about him.
Exactly. He was at the Super Bowl this past week with his son and then his other son, the 6'10" dead man. I digress. This group doesn't care about that. And that's what I love about this group.
Does
That's in
anybody
charge
actually
now.
want to see NWO Cena? I do. I thought that was one of the best things about the Firefly Funhouse.
Well,
match.
shit, he was
I want to see
what
Thugonomics back.
what he was portraying as NWO Cena was supposed to be Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
No, I know, but that's
what
why
it
I would
was.
love to see that version
I-
of Cena. Just
I
because
just
it
wanna-
would be super interesting. Even
I
in a
wanted-
microcosm of a moment.
If you're gonna give me a John Cena that's a heel, make him self-absorbed. Like he's all about himself. He's
I mean,
not
it could
worried
be the
about
moment he
everybody
wins the
else now.
17th title. That's the flip.
Why it could have just started.
True. His press conference could have come off heelish. I didn't think it came off heelish. I know one of our friends thought it came off heelish as a lot. I
CM
didn't
Punk
see that.
was kind of portraying it.
I saw it as I've been here. I've done my due diligence. I've been over backwards and taken it with no lube for this
He's Tom
company, and
Brady.
I'm making my shot.
He's
got
He's
murdered.
Babe Ruth.
I took a lot of suplexes to Suplex City for this place.
This was the comment I made to my friend earlier, Dougie D Fresh. He's in the Facebook chat there. I've made this comment to him. They want John Cena to be the new Babe Ruth to replace the old Babe Ruth, so that they only have to talk about his beer, brother. They want John Cena to call his shot. He is going to call his shot. He's winning Elimination Chamber and he's winning at WrestleMania. Does he hold it all year? Maybe. I think it would be nice for him to drop it his last match. Does he lose it halfway through the year? Possibly. Let's not forget, injuries are a thing and he's over 45 years old. Injuries happen a lot more often. You rush back from a torn pec when you're 30 or 20 years old, 26, 27 years old, might not be very good when you're 46, 47, 48. So can he make it the whole year? Granted, he's only working limited dates.
33 dates left.
So we know that's what we know of. John Cena's never want to overindulge himself on dates.
Oh, you mean do more?
Yes. So
I mean, good for him.
I've never been a John Cena guy ever at all. Ever have I ever been a John Cena guy
Until this moment.
but I'll give the dude his props. He deserves to call his own shots his last year. And if his own shot is to win the WWE title, more power to him. If he builds stars on the way out, because in reality, during
He's
his
always
whole
done
run,
that. Well, this last run he's done that, where he's lost 2,000 straight days.
I mean,
You actually go look up his record. It's not that bad.
He kind of propped Solo up a little bit. He lost the Roman Reigns twice
Got stacked.
at SummerSlam, and then he lost to him at that New Year's Eve SmackDown tag match the year before. He kind of helped. He kind of helped Solo.
Did he beat Austin Theory? I don't remember.
Lost to Austin Theory. I mean, that's the only one of them is like, which one of these is not like the other? Other than that, and did he really help make Austin Theory when he buries him the week before WrestleMania in his promo? John Cena making guys is not a high thing on his list of things you can think of.
You know, I could see too, whenever he does drop that belt, and people are going to hate me for this, Logan Paul is going to be a world champion before the year's out. I'm telling you. They love that heel energy he has. He's above Dom in that aspect.
I'd rather see Dom with it.
I'm ready for
if Logan Paul is going to commit, as he said, to actually doing this and not just showing up for big events, the dude's ready.
But then he's gonna box his brother on the 27th of March.
The box. I mean, what are we talking boxing? Are we talking what we just saw out of him and his brother and freaking Tyson?
I mean, all it takes is to throw a punch
I mean,
wrong
I'm
and a
pretty
muscle
sure.
tears.
I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure a Tyson chicken hot out of the oven could have boxed better than Tyson did.
Okay, but you're an only child, you wouldn't understand. Brothers will beat the shit out of each other.
They're not gonna. They're YouTube stars. They're not gonna ruin this. I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't have helmet thingies on.
What's the Johnny Knoxville thing? How's this? Oh, then we're good. um, injuries happen though, and it could be a non-contact injury. And then what are we gonna do?
Game over.
I mean, I'm just saying, I could see Logan Paul taking a belt off of Cena. That would be a career-defining moment for Logan Paul.
I'd rather it make somebody else.
I think if you're gonna get a Logan Paul world title thing, it's gonna be the world heavyweight title. You have to think back to this being like the WWE title and the world title from times before. If you want to you want your primary guy to be the WWE champion, and then like, oh yeah, that dude over there is the world champion too, but it's that show over there that
there was a portion in the early 2000s where the world title was the title.
Yeah, pre David Arquette.
No, the world title during Triple H Batista era, that world title was the title, and the SmackDown title was kind of like.
Well, yeah, that was post show being purchased.
We just lost Brock Lesnar. We're gonna put the belt on Eddie Guerrero. We're gonna build JBL. We're gonna build those guys up. So like the WWE title's kind of like, and the world title's here, and then it flipped, and then it's always been the WWE title is the most important title, and the world title, they're like the redheaded stepchild. They're supposed to be equal, but everybody knows they're not.
When do you think it flipped? The minute Cena went to Raw with it?
The minute they retired the big gold belt and kept the WWE title.
Oh, okay.
Once you retire a title and put it away, and it's no longer that important to you, whether you revive it or not, it never is getting back to that prestige.
I think it didn't help either when they had them and they were the same belt but a different color.
What?
Remember they had before Roman and his stupid 2 belts?
Yeah, but we're talking about the difference between the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, right, but I mean, one of those basically was
I
didn't look like it.
I think it flipped when Cena took the WWE Championship to Raw and Batista went to SmackDown with the world title. I think that's when the WWE Championship started main eventing these shows, while the world title was pre-ultimate or the third match to the end on the card with a throwaway match in the middle.
Let's not forget, we've been spoiled with Cody holding that belt.
I'll give you this, AJ. To a point, that was the case. WrestleManias, they alternated. 22, 23.
21 was world title. 22 was championship.
WWE title.
23 was
WWE championship because Batista and Taker were the middle of the match.
So, and then 24 was championship too.
24 was Taker and Edge for the world title.
It didn't close the show.
Yeah, it did.
No, it didn't. Cena, Triple H, and Orton closed the show.
One of those, Taker and Edge closed the show. I think.
Going.
Y'all have really gone history down here. I'm now. Last year time, what was a bigger belt minus the story involved as far as being on TV every week? Was it Roman who showed up every third Friday night, or was it Seth who is there every week defending that title? That title has fallen behind the other one because who's holding it and nobody likes him.
I still think it's the secondary title. Secondary world title will always be the world heavyweight title.
I'm just saying, a year ago we before the this right here is bull moment.
And I think
Seth was kind of right there with Roman.
the moment you're talking about, AJ, I would agree with you for the most part. The other part that kind of killed the world heavyweight title originally was Edge retiring after
As champ.
27 as world champ, and then it went basically it was like, here your partner is retired, so here we'll give it to Christian, let him be the world champ, and then we had Mark Henry and Randy Orton and Big Show and Daniel Bryan and if you've taken notice, the world title changes hands a lot more frequently than the WWE title did.
Is this
But
hurting?
I
Is this
digress.
hurting between the two of them having one big, having both shows having their own big belt?
No,
Is it hurting it?
I don't think
no.
so.
I mean, you're making it seem like it's the secondary title of the two.
So 23 WWE Championship, 24. Oh, you were right. I am sorry, Ryan.
How dare you question the guru?
Undertaker and Edge.
Yeah, because Edge wore the red, black, and white camo trunks.
And you had Floyd Mayweather and Big Show in between, and then Orton, Triple H, and Cena before that.
Yeah, because I went to the Backlash after that WrestleMania and watched Triple H win the WWE title.
Are we good with the men's title? Because we still never gave our prediction for the female side of this.
AJ gave it Alexa Bliss versus Rhea. So who's winning? Who do you have against Rhea?
Who are the other entrants? I don't think it's Alexa. I could see Alexa mid-card title right out of the gate, not a main title. I'm trying to remember who the other big names are that are in it.
Well, I mean,
I don't think Liv and her again.
I don't think whoever wins the women's elimination chamber is gonna.
I mean, either way, the person holding that belt was a champion at Mania last year, going into Mania. Whether it's Io Sky or Rhea, either way, I mean, it's whether that belt changes.
I think we're getting a Rhea and Liv part 4.
You think so?
Yeah.
But would Liv and Raquel possibly in the tag team thing too?
I mean, Rhea and Bailey sound interesting.
How many? I mean, are we sure Charlotte's not going to take Rhea? Are we sure?
I don't see it. I see her.
Would that be the third
Tiffany?
Third time? Rhea Charlotte 3?
Yeah, but why do we need to rush it?
I'm just saying, like,
why do we need to rush it? I don't see a reason to rush
I'm not saying we need to rush it. I'm just saying.
I mean, granted, if Charlotte faces Rhea and Charlotte wins, it gets Charlotte off of a TV show that a certain X is still on too. So that could also be a thing. But I think they would have known that going in and put her on Raw to begin with.
Her and Andrade not.
They're divorced.
I don't pay attention to the background noise, Bob.
You should really start paying attention. And when we post things in the chats, that's what they're there for.
There's a lot posted.
I mean, look in the podcast post. I could care less about the chat post.
I mean,
that's what I was talking about.
Kim Piggio posts more to help us out, and he's not even on the show.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the fill-in guy, but he never can fill in.
Well, he's a busy man.
Yeah, I think he finished 8th tonight.
Sweet, good for him.
If I read that right.
I have.
Is there anything we haven't?
I'll tell you what. I'll take it, and I'll go. Yeah, I'm going Liv Rhea. I don't know how they'll get to it, but they'll get to it.
Which puts Charlotte and Tiffy.
Could be Liv versus Rhea versus Raquel. That would be interesting.
It's like Cena versus DX. It's Survivor Series.
Like Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton and Batista.
Hey, since TJ's here, do we want to talk about fantasy?
I think the only one that
my GM
might have
mode?
the one that might have their stuff ready for that is you.
I mean, I could wing it.
Yeah, but then you have to
Captain
follow through
Wingy.
with it.
Well, no, I mean, I've thought about it. I just haven't put pen to paper.
I'm
Still
done.
waiting on the results of the Rumble. Remember, I was going to get a list of who eliminated who and that whole jargon?
Yeah. Did you do it?
I was told I didn't need to. I asked specifically, do I need to take notes? No, Ryan's doing that.
He has it right there.
I'm just saying.
I thought I sent it in the chat.
I didn't see it. Again, I mean, background noise. I guess I could have missed it.
Yeah, so I'm excited for the road to WrestleMania.
Oh, very. I think
I do love that this pay-per-view in Germany is called No Escape.
hopefully it doesn't involve a sauna match.
Bad.
Well, I mean Elimination Chamber is probably not the right thing to promote in Germany.
Anything.
Just saying.
Chamber. Oh, brother.
Guys, we're viewed in a lot of countries, and Germany is one of them.
Okay, but for the record, if you've seen Matt Rife's special in Germany, it was hilarious and they laughed.
Okay.
I'm in
So the
danger.
women's is Liv, Bianca, Alexa, and Bailey, and then 2 more to be determined.
I'm sure Chelsea Green's going to fight somebody to be in it because Lyra had to fight somebody to be in it. Oh, we forgot a return, by the way. A certain X of a certain somebody Ryan has winning 17 championships. Do you think that was a one-off?
Yes.
Oh, I could care less about Nikki Bella. She stole Shotzi Black, or not Shotzi's. Shotzi's spot was supposed to be Alexa's, from what I was told. It was Blair Davenport,
Who just got sent
who then,
packing.
who then got turned around and released.
Do you think that was more of the people that got released to give them one last pay-per-view paycheck?
Nah, I don't know. It's hard to tell.
So yeah, I have.
How many times is Logan Paul going to be in the final 5 of a Royal Rumble before he finally wins it?
I hope he doesn't.
Hopefully, fucking never.
Language.
I know you guys don't like him, but he's doing all the right things and checking all the boxes.
It's not that I don't like him. It's just I don't. I need to see more commit. I need to see more commitment.
He said, I mean, that's his big thing in his promos leading up to this return is he's committing more.
I don't care if
he's committing more.
Said.
He's committing more. That's fake news.
I don't care if that's what he said. I need him to start doing it.
I mean, he's been on TV every week. I mean, I know it's the road to WrestleMania. Since the Rumble.
No. He was on this week and last week. That's it.
Well, that's the 2 weeks since the Rumble, so yeah.
No, he missed a Raw.
He was on SmackDown.
Ryan, what are you going through? Because you look like a
list.
busy man over there.
I found the list. I thought I sent it, but I didn't.
I mean, I don't know how long you guys have been running because you started before me, but I know I've been here at least an hour.
An hour 20. What I was saying, if we can go through this fast, let's do it.
I'm not at all prepared and ready to start. I could give you things just knowing.
Well, so Elimination Chamber. Next pay-per-view for the 3 of us. Each of us gets 4 or 5 matches to make. But leading up to Elimination Chamber,
are we doing an Elimination Chamber?
Yeah.
I kind of like this idea of
like 2 people from each. I'm so confused.
No. I kind of like I just want to chime in. I kind of like the idea of what we were doing when we did the Rumble. We did that one match.
Ryan, do you have a copy?
It unplugged.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I like the idea of what we did using the video game to do our Royal Rumble.
Do that with a chamber?
I think we should do it with the Elimination Chamber match as well.
Well, then I have to throw everything out
10-4. No hurry, no rush. We're good.
because I set everything up to where I
Okay,
had my
okay.
own chamber matches.
You don't get your own chamber. What makes you so
Well,
special?
Time
We-
out.
We were all going to get them.
We all have our own Elimination Chamber matches. So
But the actual
did.
chamber match or just matches on the card?
no, just do the chamber match.
We each have our own pay-per-views to
you
fill
guys
out.
you guys have to build. Well, I forget who had you had Randy Orton, right? Yeah, and what was your stipulation with Randy winning the Royal Rumble?
He goes to a bye all the way to the finals.
So you have a tournament all the way to WrestleMania. So what is Elimination Chamber building for you?
Oh, no. Elimination Chamber is getting that one person to face him. The tournament is leading to the Elimination Chamber.
Oh.
And I have 4 matches of people. If they win, they go in, and then an LCQ of the losers who will start first in the chamber.
Nice. I don't want to watch that, to be honest with you. I can't wait till we figure out if this new 2K's online GM mode is going to work.
And
Is it
just
gonna
so
work?
you guys know, I
Me and
am
you were
running
gonna
these
be-
matches.
Me and you are going to be really good at this because I'm getting with you here in a little bit.
Take it I'm going to be required to buy this?
Or well, we've kind of had that conversation because we're not sure if you were going to buy it or not because you didn't play the last year's game.
No, screw the
So-
Macho Man, asshole.
So the plan kind of is going forward with the GM mode on 2K was it was going to be an AJ and Fry deal that we can just capture card it and then be able to play it against each other and be able to have footage.
It's not fair. Against each other. I'm bad.
So like I'll take Raw, he'll take SmackDown. We'll do our draft on there, all that kind of stuff, and then we'll have
You
a
can
year
pencil
battle.
me
on
in
GM.
for NXT, but y'all are going to have to do the game part of it. I can give you info.
No, but just throwing it out there. This is what was leading up to my Elimination Chamber. If all of our pay-per-views
You're
are separate.
You're way more thought out than I am. I can tell
It's-
you that.
Qualifying matches: Brock and Roman, Cena, MJF, Jericho, AJ Styles, Adam Cole, Adam Copeland.
I know we know your champion, Ryan. Who the hell is your champion, AJ?
He doesn't have
Nobody.
one.
Oh, so you're having a tournament to determine your champion.
No, what kind of?
He's having a tournament to determine who's going to face Randy Orton for his champion. Randy Orton won the men's Royal Rumble. AJ had Randy Orton. AJ said that Randy Orton gets a bye all the way to the finals in the tournament for his.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
So whoever wins the Elimination Chamber
Fights Randy.
that tournament back, it fights Randy.
Assuming at Mania
Yeah.
for your championship.
Yes. But Randy is not my champion.
No, I know. It's a tournament for the belt.
You're the one that has to build all of it for yourself. Yeah.
I have champions.
Oh, that's right. You just went ahead and crowned champions, didn't you? You just
No,
handed them
it's
the-
Gunther and Tiffy.
Just handed them the
What
title.
I
about-
drafted champions. Sorry, I got that luxury.
What about your tags?
I don't know. The
Yeah.
tag division is where I need to spend the most time thinking because I got a lot of tag teams.
Oh, my tag teams are going to be a ladder match.
And
Oh,
people
that
are gonna
reminds
come
me. Did you guys watch Raw and did you see the very end? And is the New Day winning tag team championships at Mania?
on.
New Day tag team championships heel run Mania.
I mean, it has
Showed
to
up,
get more
murdered a
convincing.
man. the end
Has
of the
to-
show.
They have to be more convincing than beating up the oldest guy on the roster, not named R-Truth. By the way, that backstage segment with R-Truth and Tozawa from SmackDown was by far the greatest backstage segment I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
Do
I
you want to go
laughed
check
so
him
hard.
out? Nah, he's fine.
Yeah, I laughed so hard.
Was anybody else last night a little mystified of Raw doesn't have an end time and then the New Day are murdering a man in the ring and we just cut away?
Good.
No, because we had this conversation with people that couldn't figure this out either. They want you to tune back in next week. So to cut the show off with an attack happening, one, they're going to post it on social media so
Well, I'm
that you
fine with
go to
that.
social media and look. And two, they're going to show it again next week on Raw with it, all of it, so that the older people that don't have social media can tune back into Raw. It's perfectly fine with them cutting it off.
I'm fine with it.
before
I just was
happens.
trying to understand it.
It's
It's
like-
something new,
It's
and
like,
I'm
have
not
you heard
fully
of
like.
It's not new. It's
Well,
the
I
only
mean-
thing that's new is that you don't know when it's going to be over with, which you get the basis right now. It's going to be between 10:30 and 11 o'clock, depending on if they're hot.
I mean,
Not
all I
hot.
know is the New Day are on top of them and they're going off air, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
but I wanted more.
Yeah, if they're not hot, which this Raw was not at all,
No.
Not
they're
unless
going to
you're
be
named
done
Jey
by
Uso.
10:30. I would imagine towards WrestleMania, those Raws will go to 11.
I also didn't like the placement of this match closing the show.
I don't think there was a bigger match to put in that main event spot on Raw.
And no, I understand. It felt lackluster and then done.
I'll give Logan Paul this. I'm not an overly big Logan Paul fan in the ring, out of the ring, social media wise. I mean, his podcast is good when he has wrestlers on it. He's very creative with his moves.
That was a hell of a.
His
we got a new finisher.
Yeah, what is it?
The pulverizer.
Pulverizer. Yeah,
Thank you, Pat
Pulverizer.
McAfee.
It was a very interesting finish. I'll give him that. But who when he gets up against the bigger heavyweights, is he going
Yeah.
to be able to do it? So
Does that go back to the
And-
conversation of John
and if
Cena
you-
and
if
Big
you
Show and
really
Big Show
taking-
feeling very comfortable being picked up by John?
if you take notice to Logan Paul's matches, we all know that Logan Paul trains for his matches well in advance. Like if he knows they know he's facing LA Knight at SummerSlam.
Macho Man
They
and Steamboat.
They worked that match out for so many weeks beforehand. Same way with his WrestleMania matches, same way with his matches against Ray and Saudi, all of that stuff. If you've noticed, when they put him in matches, they put him in matches against people he's already worked with, which is why Ray was in that spot to be in that qualifying match. Because, in all honesty, what has Rey Mysterio done that makes you think that he's one of the top 6 guys on Raw to be in a spot to earn a chance for Elimination Chamber, other than being just Rey Mysterio Jr.?
The only way he wins that is if they were going for a surprise factor.
Exactly.
Are we? Do we want to speculate if they're not done releasing people?
I think they're done. They were making room for NXT guys to be moved up.
Well, I mean, I can
Roxanne Perez,
can think
Roxanne
of main
Perez
roster
is
guys
being
that
moved
are.
up. She actually gets a qualifying match for Elimination Chamber next week. Is against Raquel, I believe.
Yes.
Could see her winning that.
I could see Raquel winning that.
I would almost bank on Liv costing Roxanne the match so that Raquel gets in the Elimination Chamber with her.
You don't think that hurts Roxanne at all?
Not if Liv gets the DQ finish or is the one that takes her out so that Raquel can get the win.
What do they?
If Raquel beat her clean, I would think that, but that could also lead to a Roxanne versus Liv type thing moving forward.
What do you think they do with Zoe and Shayna?
I think, judging by her post for Shayna, is we're gonna get the Shayna Baszler that was in NXT,
About
which
time.
could be bad for everybody because if you remember correctly, there was an elimination chamber with her in it, and she eliminated everybody.
I believe she murdered Liv Morgan through a pod.
Yes, she didn't. She murdered everybody. She eliminated all 5 people.
Remember, it was supposed to be, what was she, the Blackheart Queen or something or whatever?
Queen of Spades, which is her normal gimmick.
Eventually, we wanted Queen versus Queen and never got it in that run.
I think Zoe and her together. Zoe and her could be that tag team that ends up being the tag team women's champions by the time we get to WrestleMania.
Very legitimate tag team.
That would put legitimacy into the
manager.
tag team.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
without the
really, she
without
wasn't
the-
a manager. She was wrestling.
Well,
She's had one match, right?
she said,
Well, not on TV. I mean, we don't know
couple.
what she had done for house shows.
Yeah. Well, like I said before, all power to Sonya. I hope she goes and gets better with her in ring.
And if she doesn't and
creates
she
a
ends up on
character.
OF with Mandy, no one's going to complain.
That's exactly what I said earlier.
I agree. I'm in agreement with you. I like.
Lacey.
Yeah.
And Paige Van Zandt.
WrestleMania is fine. We're on the road to WrestleMania now. We're officially there.
The Chamber's going to make things a lot more clear.
What? No
Yeah.
shit. It always does.
3 weeks. 3 Saturdays.
The sun comes out in the morning.
Here's a question.
Like Fry said, it's not a Saturday night main event. There's a wrench and everything.
Here's a question I have, and then we can get out of here. WrestleMania is 2 nights this year. Oh, it's been 2 nights. There's now 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 titles on the main roster.
Some of them are staying off the show.
What matches don't make it to WrestleMania?
Is Shinsuke still the champion? That's not on the card.
I kind of forgot that Shinsuke was even in the Royal Rumble.
The women's tag is going to be a Friday match.
I think a women's tag and unfortunately the women's US title will both be defended on SmackDown.
No, I honestly think if you're going to do the women's tag on Friday, you do the Intercontinental on Monday.
Actually, it's 11 championships. I just thought about that because it's 2 men's tag titles and the women's tag titles. I could easily see the Raw tag titles,
the War Raiders and whoever.
Monday.
Yeah.
I think you're getting a triple threat, maybe a 4-way for the SmackDown tag titles going into WrestleMania. I think you're gonna get Machine Guns, DIY, Street Profits, Pretty Deadly in a fatal 4-way.
Do we have Miz on the card at Mania?
Any stipulation with that, Ryan, or just straight up?
I don't think you need to do another ladder match, but it could be fun.
How about just elimination?
Actually, I'll throw 2 names at you. Do we have Miz or Karrion Kross on the card at Mania?
Well, we're talking about titles right now, DJ.
But I'm just saying, those are 2 stars that have been on TV.
Yeah, but you got to build now that Karrion doesn't have
the AOP and
group around him. You got to build that a little bit more, and he's kind of starting to tease this Sami Zayn thing where he left an El Generico mask on Sammy's bag or something of that nature. I saw, but I would imagine Street Profit took out Machine Guns with a steel chair, correct? At Rumble?
No, kendo stick. And then crutch.
The crutch.
Right,
it was a crutch.
I'd say I would love to see those 4 tag teams in a TLC match.
Machine Guns, DIY, Profits.
Yeah, but they
Pretty Deadly.
They didn't have a TLC match.
I thought
they had a
Pretty Deadly changed brands.
No,
Or
Pretty
did they
Deadly is still
went?
on SmackDown.
They
No,
had
they
a
moved.
hardcore tag match last year.
They moved. They either moved from Raw to SmackDown or from SmackDown to Raw. Not Pretty Deadly. I'm thinking of Down Under Morons.
Yeah, they're on Raw now.
Yeah,
they're
they
on Raw
moved.
now.
They
But
moved.
they moved to Raw and now they're on NXT because they're on the pay-per-view Saturday for Vengeance Day.
Those
I don't
Bailey.
know. I feel like Street Profit, a fatal 4-way being a TLC match would be pretty damn fun to watch. I think I wouldn't look for Kyrian to have a WrestleMania match, maybe a moment or
Well,
something of that nature.
He'll be in the Battle Royal the night before.
I could see him being the guy they build and him and Sammy go after Mania. The way I kind of see it going, because he's kind of starting to
Maybe an
take
Andre
his
the Giant
spot.
Battle Royal moment for
That's what he
Karrion.
just did.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, is that what you're thinking?
I mean, you could, but what has that done for anybody lately?
Yeah.
Bronson Reed has broke his foot. We could also see
but
the
it's not
return.
because of that.
We could also see the return of Omos at WrestleMania at the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and this is going to be a way different Omos than what we're used to.
I mean, one that doesn't accidentally get thrown out.
Time out.
We think.
We do get Omos. But the last person to come out is Obafemi.
I told you what match I
Why
want.
rush it,
Obafemi.
AJ? Why rush it?
I've
It's not
told you
rushing
the
it.
match.
It's like Royal Rumble. They come up for that kind of.
I've told you that I want Obafemi versus Moose, and I don't care what other matches he has until he has Obafemi versus Moose. And I'm really hoping that Stand and Deliver turns into like a Worlds Collide at WrestleMania, and we get NXT versus TNA in some matches. Would be amazing.
John Cena versus Joe Hendry.
So we know Roxanne versus Raquel will be one of those two empty spots for Elimination Chamber. Just dawned on me, there's a person that debuted at the Royal Rumble that her Twitter page says she's a WWE superstar
Jordynne
that we
Grace.
talked about earlier that we haven't seen on TV since the Royal Rumble. Is Jordynne Grace going to be in the Elimination Chamber? And could we possibly get Jordynne Grace versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania?
That would be fun.
I'd watch it. I mean, I'd enjoy it.
That would be Mommy versus Big Mama Pump. That would be pretty fun. I mean, that was her nickname because she uses the siren when she comes to the ring.
Does she come out with
And
chain metal?
she came out dressed like him one time. It was Scott Steiner, Jordynne Grace, and Petey Williams. So it was Big Papa Pump, Big Mama Pump, and Little Papa Pump, all dressed like the chainmail and everything. Because I just saw on Twitter where because Steiner is now on Instagram, ladies and gentlemen. If you want some fun reads, go find Scott Steiner on Instagram.
Where she do a weekly math corner.
He has been burying people left and right, and it's been pretty funny.
You should message him to talk about a certain guy.
I ran into Scott Steiner before. He scares the shit out of me.
I was talking about Ryback.
More or less than Brock.
Well, since there was no barrier between me and Scott Steiner, I'll go with Scott Steiner. But there was a barrier between me and Brock Lesnar.
Almost wasn't.
Plus, I think me and Brock would get along because we know we both like red tractors and we both like drinking beer, and eating,
killing things and eating them.
But yeah, I could easily see Jordynne Grace being thrown into this Elimination Chamber as the last match because I don't think that's been announced. But
I'm annoyed Alexa Bliss has not got a mic in her hand yet.
Hey, Ryan.
Outside of a little social media thing post the evening.
The Andre the Giant Battle Royal, she wins it.
And she eliminates Omos and buries him in the process.
God.
And I'm not trying to be funny with that. I
thought they did a female version.
No.
1 year.
Oh, did they?
Was it?
Yeah, because they named it after the Fabulous Moolah, and everybody
then
got mad about it.
And they
And
changed
Naomi
it.
is the one that won it, and then they did away with it.
I thought they made it like the Mae Young Battle Royal after that or something.
No, they just turned it into the women's battle royal, but everybody wanted them to make it the ninth wonder of the world battle royal to because Andre is the eighth wonder of the world. They wanted to do a ninth wonder of the world
China.
China Memorial Battle Royal, and they never did it. So,
She in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yes.
as a part of DX, yes.
Oh. How about that? We haven't talked.
I was gonna say, did we want to? Now that we got that route,
This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when we all get busy and we miss like 3 weeks of podcast because we're all super busy and have things going on.
and snow sucks.
Yeah, well, snow benefited us tonight because that's how we're getting this.
uh,
Yeah, one of
Triple
my
H.
top favorite guys of all time, Triple H, gets announced that he's going into the Hall of Fame.
By Sean and Taker.
I love the marks that are out there that are like, oh, he's putting himself in the Hall of Fame. You morons! This was a Nick Khan call. Nick Khan is the one that called Undertaker and Shawn Michaels to be there. He had just wrapped up talking about their shows and stuff that were coming up, and like he even mentioned that like when he heard Shawn's music hit, he thought it was to promote the LFG show, which premieres Sunday on A&E.
I want to
I'm
watch
looking forward
that.
to that.
It looks like it's tough enough.
In a way, it is.
I don't care what it is. I want to watch
one
it.
one of the kids involved in that, which I'm kind of curious to watch, is Evander Holyfield's son, Elijah Holyfield, who kind of is taking the same route Braun Breaker did. He played fullback in Georgia, went to the NFL and played with the Eagles, and then got released, and now he's trying professional wrestling.
Oh, he missed out on a ring.
That could be really, really interesting. But so he
Did you
heard
see the
Shawn's
clip
music
with
and
the
stuff.
guy, the Bubba Ray, and the other guy? That clip alone, I'm like, I'm in. I want to watch.
Yeah, this LFG show looks really good. The Gunther clips. Have you seen the Gunther clips?
Yeah.
No.
Where he tells the girl to stop acting like Barbie because nobody cares. That was the most character I've seen out of Gunther in ever.
How about
I saw a Punk clip.
Punk one?
Saw the Punk clip.
So
there's some dude named like DJ Ray, and he has a moment with Bubba Ray where like it looked like Bubba Ray wanted to like backhand the kid.
So Triple H is going into the Hall of Fame. Well deserved.
Probably well overdue.
Not well overdue so much as he only stopped wrestling like 4 years ago. I feel like there should be like a term limit, like the NFL has, like 5
who else
years.
we think it might go in this year?
Well, that's what I was getting ready to give you. I'll give you one woman, one manager, referee, personality, GM kind of guy, and one tag team. Who do you think's going in? Keeping in mind they're in Las Vegas, Nevada. What woman do you think's going to go into the Hall of Fame? Because they seem to have a pattern where it's a male, a female, a tag team.
Yeah.
This is where I don't benefit because I don't know who's already in.
Well, just mention them and I'll tell you if they're in or not.
Or logistically because they're in LA.
Well, do we think Bray gets in this year?
No. Bray Wyatt will not go into the Hall of Fame anytime soon. I say that, and what was it? Next year's WrestleMania is supposed to be Louisiana, where he'll probably go in.
I just was thinking while his family members were still of the living.
Listen, we can have this debate all we want, but really, I respect Bray Wyatt's creativity as far as his characters go, and his creativity outside of the ring. But to be honest with you, in the ring, nothing that made me want to make sure that I watched a Bray Wyatt match.
I think that one too definitely didn't. I mean, obviously with his untimely passing, he was still building that repertoire,
Yes,
and it's
but
super shitty that we don't get the rest of it.
yes. And I know that this community thinks that if they want it, they should get it. And if that's the case, go play fantasy 2K if to get what you want. I he's gonna go in eventually. I just it'll
I
probably
know.
be if Mania is supposed to be in Louisiana next year, he'll go into the Hall of Fame because it's Louisiana, the swamps, all that stuff. He'll go into the Hall of Fame.
I got two
But
names. Um,
Matt and
I don't
Jeff.
think they're. I don't think they're this year. That'd be a good one. I got two names. I don't think they're this year, but I think they're soon. At some point here, Stephanie and Shane are going to end up in this Hall of Fame, right?
if they want,
I mean, I would think if Hunter's in now, I'm not saying this year, obviously Steph would go, but Stephanie's in ring part in this, Attitude Era story was pretty big.
I mean, Stephanie is a former WWE Women's Champion.
And I mean, from the Austin saving her while she's being crucified. I mean, just her whole thing in it. I mean, bouts with with Vicky Guerrero, and just
What
I
about
would think
Mickey?
it's Mickey James. She has been popping
Is
up in
that
the
who?
crowd a lot.
Well, because she's on the LFG show.
We're in a weird spot where like a lot of the older people that should be in the Hall of Fame are.
Victoria.
That's who I have going in. Because she's from California. They're going to be in Vegas. She's long overdue. She signed a Legends deal. She's going to be in the video games moving forward.
And Matt and Jeff, they're able to be in it, right? Like they're not working with the wrong promotion right now.
They could, but I don't think they want to be in a Hall of Fame until they're ready to retire. I don't think you're going to get them until they're
What about
done.
Brian Pillman?
I mean, that could be your I would put
Host.
Pillman. I would put Pillman in the. Do you know how they do the legacy thing,
Yeah.
where they have like 6 people that they talk about that they put in the legacy wing of the Hall of Fame? You could put Brian Pillman there, because again, Brian Pillman's in ring when he started was really really good, but once he got hurt, his in ring was bad, and he was halfway decent on the microphone. But is it a Hall of Fame career? That's kind of one of those ones where if you really think about it, you don't just make it what it is. Does he really deserve a Hall of
I
Fame
mean,
spot?
we all know Owen should be, but until the wife there either
It-
kicks the bucket or has a change of heart, that'll never happen.
Is Sid Justice in the Hall of Fame?
Sid Justice is not in the Hall of Fame.
Is it too close to softball season?
It's too close to his death to be in softball season.
So it's always softball season.
Uh, I have Triple H, Victoria, Demolition.
Demolition aren't in?
Demolition. The rumors going around is Demolition is now working on a deal with the WWE. For the longest time, they were part of the giant lawsuit that was always against the WWE about wrestlers with concussions and all that kind of stuff. And they would always make the claim of it would cost at least $20,000 a piece for them to attend the Hall of Fame, and it's mainly because of their dislike. Their them and Vince were very strained, and I think Triple H being in charge and knowing Triple H has mended so many fences that he's probably worked on Demolition, because I've been seeing reports that now WWE is got Demolition on the webpage, which they didn't before on some certain stuff. So I think Demolition is going to be the guys that go in, surprisingly. They're
Is
well deserved. I'm not a Legion of Doom guy. I am a Demolition guy. I was
they're in,
raised on
right?
yeah. I was raised on Demolition before I ever knew who the Road Warriors were. So for Demolition to go in would be really huge for me.
So if you
They were my favorite tag team when I was younger.
What about Jesse? Is he
Jesse's
in?
already in.
Is
Jesse's
he?
already in.
I
Okay,
wasn't
so
sure.
we'll put this one all encompassing promoter, manager, or valet. Pick
I
one.
think I think it's time for Jim Cornette to go into the Hall of Fame.
I would have been one I thought already was.
That's the
I
one
think
guy
he's the same
manager
Triple
wise.
H booth. Like, I kind of didn't want to.
He very well could be, but I think it's time. I mean, he was the guy that
You gotta remember, with
inducted.
Vince out of the way, we can get. There's people that have had issues with Vince now that.
Yeah, and I think that he did induct the Rock and Roll Express in a couple years ago. With their relationship, I think he gets in to the Hall of Fame as a manager.
Is Jim Ross still a commentator over there?
No,
What about Marty
what he's
Jannetty and Sean?
you're gonna make Shawn Michaels a 3-time Hall of Famer for a tag
Well,
team
I
that
mean, or
never.
just Marty on his own, but I mean,
No,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, you want to talk
no,
about.
no. Do you just do me a favor when we wrap up here? On YouTube, just type in Marty Jannetty and see some of the weird shit that comes up. Sorry, my language, but still. Marty Jannetty is weird.
I mean,
And
at
he's
this
way
point.
too far out there to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame at this moment.
Well, okay, but we sat through a very odd induction speech last year.
Yeah, but he's not. Paul Heyman's not talking about.
I wasn't talking about Paul.
Talking about Thunderbolt
Pregnant.
Patterson.
Talking about impregnating his own daughter. Yeah. So Marty Jannetty to me is a no. Not to mention.
What about
That made me just forget the one
Vincent
I
/
asked you.
Virgil?
Which one did you ask me?
But I'm trying to remember.
Well, you think
You know who
Vincent
would be a
Virgil?
fun- Do you know who would be a fun induction just because he deserves it? And if you're going to be active, you should still get in the Hall of Fame. R-Truth.
But you know, he would show up and be like, come after the Hall of Fame thing and like put a ladder up to get his ring or something.
He would come out and go, I thank you all for having me at Survivor Series.
What about Vincent Virgil?
No.
No.
No,
No?
I'm not saying it. Not allowed. But not Mike Jones.
BD Mike Jones? I mean, are we? Can we bring WCW into this point? Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, I'm just trying to. Guys that had an impact. Raven is Raven in?
I said Jim Ross. As
Jim
like a
still
lifetime.
signed. Jim's still signed to AEW as far as I know. He's not doing anything because
He's got
one, his
cancer.
Bell's palsy is bad and he has cancer. I think you probably get him in the next couple of years. I would be more prone for Jim Ross. You got to think of location. I think you're more prone to get Jim Ross next year because they're in Louisiana. And that's where Jim Ross got his start, was that Mid-South territory with Bill Watts. That's where I would put Jim Ross and as a chance to get into the Hall of Fame would be
and
next
apparently
year.
he's having conversations with Triple H.
If it's in Louisiana. There's been rumors. I don't think it's been clarified yet that it is, but the rumors were that it was going to be in Louisiana next year.
Their go-tos are either Louisiana or AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, well, from what I've heard, is it's supposed to be Louisiana next year, and then was it Indianapolis probably the year after?
I thought, weren't they going to Minneapolis one year?
That's for SummerSlam.
Oh.
So
they're doing MetLife. They're doing MetLife this year, Minneapolis next year for SummerSlam.
Fry, rapid fire mode. Raven, yes, no.
No.
Even just within 5 years. Even just within 5 years. Raven, yes, no.
No.
Is Luger in already, or?
I think Luger gets in, but Luger's not going to get in yet because he's working with DDP and he's trying to get the ability to walk again. and I think he wants to make sure he can walk. And the moment that DDP gets with Hunter and says, "This is the time," Lex Luger will go into the Hall of Fame. That way, he can walk into the Hall of Fame.
Hall and Nash.
They're
In?
already in.
The hell else was I just thinking? Giant? Big Show?
Big Show's one of those ones that's kind of hard because got an AEW contract. I think you might get Mark Henry.
I was just that's where I was going next was Mark Henry.
I think you will get Mark Henry into the Hall of Fame, but I don't think you'll get the Big Show just yet.
Boss Man?
Already in.
Already in. Yes, I'm a little bit running through the NWO roster, just a smidge.
David
There's
Arquette.
there's nobody else on that NWO roster that's due for the only other one on the NWO roster that's due for a Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And I'm glad
Eric
you said that
Bischoff.
because it reminds me is Eric Bischoff, and they are in Las Vegas, and that's right below Wyoming. So actually, I'll scratch off Jim Cornette and put Eric Bischoff in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I was gonna ask about Mr. Stuff there.
How
Did he ever
how,
come to the WWE, Buff Bagwell?
Yeah, and it was on bad terms after he left.
So probably not.
How funny would that Hall of Fame class be? That's Triple H and Eric Bischoff in the same Hall of Fame class. Would
What
that
point
not
do
be
the
funny?
what point of the brother of the guy on your hat when he's done wrestling?
Yeah, he's just resigned for AEW Ring of Honor. He's gonna be there for a while, but when Dustin's done, Dustin will go in the Hall of Fame. He's much deserved.
Kane in?
Yes,
No, he's not in right now.
Kane is in the Hall of Fame.
When did that happen?
2 years ago,
By himself or Brothers of Destruction?
by himself.
What about X-Pac?
DX.
He's in
As
with
a
DX.
DX?
He's in twice. He's in with DX and he's in with the NWO.
I'm assuming Yoko's in.
Yes.
All right. We're at 2 hours, so
I'm ready. We're good. It's fun. The snow. Thank the snow. As much as we all hate the snow, if it wasn't snowing, we couldn't have done this until the weekend, and then we were trying to cram everything into the weekend.
can only cram it so far.
We didn't need to watch that stupid football game. It went just about as good as the Tampa Bay version. Tom Brady was present for both, by the way.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
Taylor Swift up there in the stands getting Dom Mysterio heat.
Oh, did small tidbit. New member of Judgment Day? Question mark. Teased. For sure. Raw. Dom mentioned, do we need to find a new member? And Finn was like, nah.
Oh.
Just something to maybe next another episode. Just keep an eyeball. Something I thought was interesting.
Best Super Bowl commercial? Bosch Tools. Why? Because, oh yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage was in it, and he's been dead for 14 years.
The one that ended. I'm not going to get into the specifics of the Melons one. I know it ended with Wanda Sykes, my buddy Nate. I know he's probably not watching because he's probably asleep. He would definitely want me to throw that one in there. But the Harrison Ford Jeep one was pretty good. AJ, thoughts?
Let's get out of here.
No Super Bowl commercial for AJ?
No, I enjoyed the game more.
You might be the only person that enjoyed that game.
Do you know the bad part
Other
is
than
if
Eagles
we
fans.
Do you know the funnier part is if we keep going with this podcast and just keep this stream going for a little while, it would officially be that I am the only one that's been on stream to not fall asleep.
Who fell asleep?
TJ's fallen asleep before, and you've been dozing off, eyes a little closed there. Like, can we get this over with?
No, my phone, and then research. No,
research.
It's okay. It's a long day. We understand.
Yeah, but no, I wasn't.
I know.
Allegedly.
I'm just busting
No,
your
TJ,
bald
we
head.
know you have fallen asleep.
I
Oh,
won't.
yeah, TJ
I've fallen
TJ was-
asleep broadcasting. What do you mean?
TJ's was this. What are you talking about, Chet? I don't know. Besides the fact that you hear you snore.
That's
But-
shocking.
Guys, it's been fun. I'm glad we could do this during the week. I can't wait till we can actually do this normally through the week. Sorry, my schedule screws everything up for everybody.
Yeah, get that
Damn.
fixed.
Damn schedule.
Yeah, at least on
but
Mondays. Hopefully Wednesdays too.
It's been fun. We'll try to get something out again on Saturday, I think, this week.
I'm gonna try to.
It was Saturday, right?
Yeah, if anything, it will be Saturday.
Okay. I don't think I have anything Saturday. I think I'm good.
All right,
In the
peeps.
afternoon.
Bye.
Yee, 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 yee.